You know, sometimes it's hard to take a good look at the bigger picture when a much more enticing one is dancing in your face. Yeah, it really makes me happy to learn that Deadpool can in fact meet the Avengers, or that the Fantastic Four can be saved from the clutches of laziness and poor management at long last. But once you really get over the initial goodwill that comes from Disney purchasing assets from 20th Century Fox, you start to see what is happening, and the potential future that it could lead to. Just consider this for a moment. 20th Century Fox will be gone. Sure, Fox as a broadcasting network is still going to be around if you're a fan of sports and news coverage like the Murdochs seem to be. That's no major loss. And yeah, Disney gains those assets, so most likely consolidation will see franchises from Alien and Predator to Planet of the Apes still happening under some sort of different banner. That's probably going to result in a loss of many jobs, as Bob Iger has gone on record saying the merger will result in at least $2 billion in savings. Huge layoffs inbound as Disney tries to create perfect synergy between the two arms. And that's not even going into detail on how much stake Disney is set to gain over Hulu, as in addition to their 30%, they'll get access to 20th Century Fox's 30% as well, giving them majority control over their fellow stakeholders, Comcast and Time Warner. This gives them a major foothold in the streaming market, a market they've been looking to break into with their own streaming service, and it could provide them with sufficient ability to combat the ever-expansive Netflix, which has been building a library all its own to bolster its original content and retention without reliance on licensed shows and movies. I think the biggest thing to consider, though, is how this affects Disney's release and exhibition in the film industry, and how this could lead us down a path of consolidation amongst other film studios just to try and compete with the new titan on the block. This actually came to light for me in much of Deadline's continued coverage of the merger. I, too, was blinded by the prospect of Deadpool picking on an itty-witty Peter Parker, but there's actually a side of this merger that could spell out a very limited future for consumers. As it stands, with Disney acquiring Fox assets, a bigger library sees a bigger release of tentpole event films that dominate a good portion of the global box office. Not necessarily an increase in superhero films, but likely an increase in well-known franchise releases. Essentially, this would leave many other film studios in a tough spot as they try to compete, as Disney's monolith status gives them leeway to control how long movies stay in the theaters, and dominance over the best screening houses, essentially preventing competitor films a chance to make money in the lull between Disney releases. The best seats in the house would always be for a Disney film, and other major studios might have to take drastic measures to compete, such as merging themselves. Sony obviously would be in a position where this could be a necessity. Paramount could benefit from a merger to rival Disney and Fox's new conglomerate, and everything from Lionsgate to Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer might have to look at joining forces just to keep afloat. In essence, we could be looking at a future where the control of the film industry market could come down to 4 major studios controlling the industry through their predominant releases, thus taking in a good chunk of the market shares. Our options may become very limited, and types of films could become less and less diverse as studios are vying to secure the box office intake, releasing blockbusters and event films over the riskier, more singular visions. At least in theaters, anyway. That's where streaming services like Netflix come in, but that's more a video for another time. Obviously, this is all kind of dependent on whether or not the deal goes through without a hitch, which we won't know until 2019, but the future could be looking a little more controlled if we're not watching too carefully. Disney has made a pretty ballsy move that looks like it might just change the landscape of the film industry. Whether for better or for worse, well, we'll just have to wait and see on that. But anyways guys, if you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, it really helps us out, and subscribe for more of our content just like this. Go ahead and like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter if you haven't already, and if you'd like to show your support, maybe consider donating to our Patreon page, where every dollar that you guys puts in goes towards helping us create higher quality content for you, the viewer. Thanks again guys, and we'll catch you all next time.